Hello and welcome to Lessons for Full Spectrum Humans. This is level 2, and this teaching is all about energetic hygiene. So in this level, I have already done a lesson that is about longevity, and I realize that a lot of the topics of energetic hygiene overlap with and coincide with the concept of longevity, and that the two really come hand in hand. And also I recognized that I practice a lot of these things throughout my daily life, but have not formally told other people, hey, in order to cultivate your energy, be sure to do this. So this is the formal delineation of the basic intuitive practices that I engage in order to basically to cultivate my energy field. Because the idea is, I draw these energy centers all the time, and I want to get across the idea that you have a bubble, you have a sphere of energy that surrounds and interpenetrates your body, and that is like your personal atmosphere. And in exactly the same way that we need to learn how to perform good hygiene on our physical body to keep our physical body healthy, we need to do the same thing with our bubble of energy that is our non-physical body. And of course, when you're a little tiny child, you are taught, hey, this is how you brush your teeth, and this is how you comb your hair, and this is how you groom your physical body. And in this time and place, there unfortunately is not a teacher until now to tell you, this is how you groom yourself energetically. So we are beginning this, and we will, of course, model this for children as they grow up. So one of the first things is the understanding that you have this bubble of energy and that it is porous, meaning that energy can both go into the bubble and energy can leave the bubble. And whenever you interact with anything or anyone, that is what is happening. So when you go around and have experiences on your day-to-day life, energy is entering into your physical bubble. And it is a good idea at the end of the day to clear out any energy that's not yours. So just like at the end of the day we're taught you brush your teeth and you brush your hair and take off your daytime clothing and put on your pajamas, your nighttime clothing, and then you get into bed, it is good to understand that you need to do something similar with your energy at the end of the day, where you wash or cleanse or clear your energy bubble in the same way that you would wash your face. And definitely, if I have been some places, like when I used to live near New York City and I would go to New York City and return home at the end of the day, I always took a physical shower in order to wash off, any bits of dust and dirt that might have gotten onto my physical body. And I would also clear my energy field in order to clear out the detritus of the other 6 million people that I was walking amidst. Because, this is your energy bubble right here, but let's just understand that when you go to New York City or some large urban area or anything, this is you and you're a little tiny stick figure inside of there. Hey, here's someone else's energy bubble. Look at that. It comes inside of yours. And here's someone else's energy bubble that comes inside of yours. Basically, energy fields are always interacting and interpenetrating. So when you have an interaction with anyone else during the day, you are picking up things from other people's energy fields. Okay, let me also tell you this. Now in my current incarnation and daily life, I am much more in control of whom I interact with. I used to work in a retail store doing custom framing. This is more than 10 years ago. And I had very little control over who came over to me. I was simply in the store and customers would come over to me and they would ask questions and they would make comments and they would be in my energy field. And what it felt like to me was like all day long I was being pecked at by like little birds or little ducks, and everyone was always speaking to me, and then I felt like they walked away with a little piece of my energy. So I'm putting these little green dots out here to show a customer came over to you, spoke to you, you gave them words or energy, and then, they went away. And this is back and forth in your energy field all day long. If you don't clear these things out, it can be very depleting and it can be very exhausting and it can be confusing, because if you are empathic at all, meaning that you are empathetic, you feel on a, let me change colors here, you feel on a resonant emotional level the similar feelings to the people around you. So if someone comes to you and they're angry, if they're angry that they didn't get their custom frame on time, and then, when they leave, well, they've left behind a bunch of their anger in your energy field. So then you have to go home at the end of the day and deal with that. So here are some good practical these are all practices, so this is a very easy lesson to record. The first thing is sage. Sage, the plant, is an essential tool for cleaning and clearing your energy field. And you can use sage not only on yourself, but on anything that you use or on any space that you occupy. So you can sage your car. If you feel like someone unpleasant has been in your car, or if you feel like there are unpleasant conversations that happened in your car, you can either burn sage, a little bit, and when you sage, here is the procedure. You need to sage anything that's an opening. And when you sage it, if this is a window, and this is my hand holding like a wand of sage, I usually begin by going in a clockwise direction, and I wave the wand of sage around the window like that. And then if there's a door over here next to the window, I will then wave the wand of sage around the door. And I go around the room that I am within, beginning at the east. This is arbitrary, but it works. It's systematic. It comes from the Native Americans, beginning in the east. And I sage the perimeter of all of the openings of that room. So the windows, the doors, the windows, and go around in a circle. And of course, I sage my own body. So that means that I whirl the burning sage around my own body. And when I finish the circle of myself and my space, and usually I sage my studio. For me, this, bubble of energy that I keep drawing over and over and talking to you about cultivating it, my primary place that I occupy during the day is my art studio, and it is where I cultivate my energy bubble. This is where I meditate. This is where I do things like recording this lesson. It is where I express my creativity. It's like saying, I need to make sure that my studio is a clean, clear canvas so that I can actually get in there and then paint on a canvas. So, before I make a painting on a canvas, I gesso the canvas so that it's perfectly white. Then it is prepared for me to paint whatever I want on it. Before I work in a studio, I sage the studio. I should use green. I sage the air of the studio, and I don't have to do it every day. It depends on how clean the place is. Like, you don't have to vacuum your house every day. It depends on how dirty the place is. I create this appropriate venue within which I can relax and expand my energy field, because creativity has to do with relaxing and expanding your energy field. You relax the judgment and the when you are not at the level of unconditional love and you are judging and you say, this is right, this is wrong, this is good, this is bad. You save all of that for after the creative process. The creative process in the actual studio is one of unfettered lovemaking, where you make art and don't judge it, and that comes afterwards. So I'm saying, if you want to sage your car, you could do it either with burning sage, take the actual plant and ignite it and wave the smoke around, or because I don't want my car to smell too much, I just use the actual plant. You can use like a little leaf of sage, and you don't even have to burn it, because it is the intent with which you smudge. You can also clean and clear using salt, and it doesn't physically touch the salt to everything that is being cleared, but that you use your intent, which, remember, is connected to your third eye over here. Your intent, in a sense, programs what you're doing with sage as a tool for cleaning and clearing. Sage all of the windows of your car and all of the doors of your car, and then when you complete the circle. And you complete it you can use any motion that you do. I usually bring my hands together as a way of saying, like the gesture of closing a book, like saying, that is finished now. Okay, so sage can be used to clear your energy field. Salt can also be used to clear your energy field. A very effective thing, for example, if you go to New York City or work in a field where you are dealing with a lot of people getting into your energy field all day long, is at the end of the day, take a bath with Epsom salts. Soak in a salt bath, and that literally will help to clear out any energy that has gotten into your energy field that doesn't actually belong there. Now let's talk about putting energy into your field that you do wish to be there. One of the first things is meditation. And to me, this is not a chore. Exercise is not a chore either. And this is not even self-aggrandizement. This is just like saying anything can be done, either in a way that is full of toil and difficulty or unpleasantness, or in a way that is joyful. And my whole approach is all about the joy. So when I exercise, I do not look at it like a grueling boot camp. I look at it as something that is fun, enjoyable, and a privilege to do within this physical form, and that keeps this physical form healthy. And when you exercise, everything doesn't have to be done in a grueling sense, like at the maximum level of intensity and difficulty. You get to say, I'm going to exercise in a fun, joyous way. I listen to things that I enjoy on my headphones. I watch YouTubes that are inspiring. The whole point being, anything, eating your vegetables, doing exercise, anything can be approached with, the French have a word, joie de vivre. This means joy of life. It means I don't see this as a horrible chore. So cultivating the attitude of joy is another aspect of cultivating this bubble of energy. And when I am in my studio, I am literally in joy and in bliss. And I will also tell you that according to if you run along the paradigm that we are in a battle between good and evil, and that evil beings or demons are here to stop you from feeling your full joy and expressing yourself fully, that the best way that you can quote unquote fight evil is by being in joy. I want to get a lot more into some very specific things that I do. So in other lessons, I've spoken about sun gazing. This is when I, first of all, connect my root chakra right over here to the planet, and I also connect my third eye over here to the sun, and I create this, changing colors here, I create this circuit of energy up my spine between the two, and that is something that definitely puts energy into my energy bubble. Draw an energy bubble here. Definitely puts energy into and helps me to cultivate my energy bubble. Another crucial thing that I do, so one of the aspects of sun gazing is connecting to earth. And this can be called earthing. We do this by connecting our base of our spine. So this would be, I'm circling a green circle right here at the base of your spine. Imagine connecting that to Earth's core. So if this is, Earth over here, and Earth has a molten core in the center of the Earth, and clearly I am sitting over here. This is a basic stick figure. I'm sitting over here in meditation. So I mentally, with my mind, I envision some connection. You could envision a spiral of light or a beam of light connecting you and the earth. And this, if you live in a place where the weather is good, you can physically go outside and put your behind on the ground and get great benefits. Literally, when you do this, energy comes up from the earth and goes into you. And it is very positive to do this, very beneficial. I literally do this every morning here now that I live in California, because it's not cold and frozen and it is not covered in snow. I know that even in the wintertime, about 11 or 12 in the morning, I can go to a sunny place in my neighbor's driveway and I can sit down in the middle of the driveway and actually make this connection with the earth and actually get sunlight in my face. And this to me is a basic part of energetic hygiene. This is like saying, how do you stay healthy? How do you stay vital? How do you not get sick when other people get sick? This is part of what I do. So grounding or earthing You can also do by simply standing on the ground barefoot. Again, you have to do this hopefully someplace where you're not going to get frostbite because you're outside in the middle of the winter. But the idea is to make an electrical connection. If this is earth and this is your foot, this is a very long foot, you want to make the electrical connection between you and the surface of the earth. So when you're wearing shoes, most of our shoes in this modern age have a rubber liner that prevents you from actually making that electrical connection to earth. And that's why it is so beneficial to sometimes take off your shoes and actually touch earth. I go even further than this. Like if this is earth over here, this is like a very, very rough sketch here, but I just wanted to draw something so you could see. That's the surface of earth. And I take myself and I actually lie down on earth. I'm trying to move this forward. There we go. I lie down on earth. So where I live, I have a backyard where it's just grass and there's a nice little hill. And I put down a comfortable warm blanket and lay down. And the idea is exactly the way a baby lies down on its parent. It is a beautiful parent and child relationship. Now, I do not know what type of relationship you as an individual have with your personal biological mother. And many people have complex issues where there might be a, love-hate relationship or aspects that need to be cleaned and cleared, which is why it can be difficult for me to simply say, imagine that earth is your mother and you're laying upon her bosom. But that is what I would like to be able to say. I would like to be able to say, hey, imagine that you are like a child and you are laying down, on the skin of your parent and feeling all of that wonderful warmth that comes from your parent. What it feels like to me. So first of all, we have the chakras, and the chakras are in alignment according to these axes. And I've also drawn pictures how you can have a chakra that is somewhat out of alignment, if it is off its axis like that. When I lay down on my stomach on the earth, I feel her sending out these axes like this that literally help to align my chakras. And at the same time, I feel energy flowing, and it kind of goes in a figure 8 motion, flowing down the front of my body and then up and back around the back of my body, and then down the front of my body again. So what the motion appears to be is like a big giant circle, from the top down, from the top down, from the top down. And that it's almost like the comb, the teeth on a comb, like if this is a comb and you have these teeth like this, as the energy impulse moves along each tooth, it kind of straightens and aligns each one. And this is like getting your energy fibers combed by the planet. So I send energy in these loops, around and around. And I even do something with the pores of my face that is very similar to this. So I just characterize this as having like teeth on a comb and kind of aligning them and going through them so that they're all lined up in the right order. I do that also, with my face. And I especially do this when I'm out in the sun because it's such a opportune time to do it. If this is my face and here's my eyes and my nose and my mouth, we could envision that all of the pores of your skin are like little tunnels that stick outward, and that we can align them with the sun. Like if you imagined these all as, literally like whiskers sticking outward, I align all of my whiskers of energy with the sun. And this is literally, these are the sebaceous glands. If this is the surface of your skin has these little pores in it, and there is oil inside of your pores. And when you align this with the sun, you're creating these little vortexes of energy. This is what I should just be telling everyone. Make vortexes. This becomes a vortex shape. everywhere on our earth, on our body. In order to do this energetic hygiene, we want to make vortex shapes. So now you understand that every single one of these is a little tiny vortex sticking off into the sun, and that when you align yourself in this way, you clear out any junk that doesn't belong in there, and anything that's going in the wrong direction. Anything that's going at this direction gets gently turned until it's going in the right direction. I also want to talk about what happens during sleep, because this is an intuitive thing that I do during sleep, but that it is almost never spoken about, so other people might not know that this is happening, but it's crucial to me keeping my body and my energy bubble healthy. So these are different sleep movements that I perform, and I wouldn't say that they're performed unconsciously, but they are performed intuitively. No one came to me and said, Aurora, you must do this while you were sleeping. I just really realized that this is what I've been doing, and I recently had a problem with my mattress, and I had to sleep on the couch, and I wasn't able to do this, and I realized that it was hurting me so much not to be able to do this. So, if this is you going to sleep in your bed at night, and here's your pillow, and here's you, right? So let's say you're lying on your back for, minutes or hours. Then let's say maybe you switch around to your side. Okay, so now this person is just turned over on their side. And now maybe for a few more minutes, then they're going to turn back over and maybe flip over to their other side. When I do that and I flip over to my other side, I absolutely spread out all of my limbs. So if I'm flipping over, here's my spine. Here's my arm, here's my leg, here's my other arm, here's my other leg. I stretch out, much like this image right here. I stretch out as much as I possibly can. And I also arch my back. I arch my back so that all of these wonderful chakras get to open up. And this is crucial because people don't understand how much regeneration and health happens while you are sleeping, but this is a major time when your energy centers are revitalized and rebalanced. When you are standing or when you are sitting or involved in your daily activities, it's very, very difficult. I'm trying to draw on the spine over here in a color that you can actually see here. It's difficult for you to take time to realign your spine. It is in motion all the time, and it's always got weight pushing down on it. It's like saying you have dishes that are stacked up on top of each other like this, and you can't get to the bottommost dish without moving all of these other dishes because this is your spine and you're all stacked up. When you are lying down in your bed at night, you can get at that dish because now the dishes are stacked like this. So if you need to realign this little spot down here, it's possible. And when I turn over and I arch my back, I arch my back like this, a motion like this. And when that happens, it makes your chakras go like this, and like this, and like this, and like this. They open up. And that is a crucial aspect of releasing tension, releasing energy that might have gotten stuck in there during the day. And when I say stuck energy, usually it is in the form of an emotional experience. Usually it means you either did something, said something, or heard something that made you feel an emotion, but that your conscious mind at the level of yellow was not yet ready to understand that emotion, so it kind of got filed away. And then at night, and especially during dreaming, is when we take these things that we've filed away and deal with them. And that is called emotionally processing. At night, you're processing your food in your belly. Literally, your intestines are digesting what you ate during the day. Your body is processing what you ate during the day. Your conscious intellect is processing what you experienced, if you're doing dreaming and processing what you felt there. And your energy body is processing any emotional or non-physical energy that has been flowing through your body during the day. So being able to perform these back arching releases like this at night while you are going through this processing is absolutely essential. Let's also go, and I only have 6 minutes left on this, very briefly. Expectoration. When I have ingested thoughts, ideas, or experiences that I found to have leftover residue, I often found that when processing that residue, I had to spit. That's expectoration. In this time and place, it is not okay to spit, but sometimes I have to, and I try to be socially conscious about it and not inappropriate. But I will tell you, it is one of the main ways that your body purges out thoughts and feelings and emotion and energy. Literally, you have next to your throat, you have these, salivary glands here and here, and when you have some of these experiences and energetic experiences, the saliva that is produced during those experiences is very yucky and contains energy that you do not want to have to swallow back down, go into your belly, and then have to process out. It is way, way better to spit that stuff out. So here is an example. I was visiting a friend many, many years ago. They were showing me their new studio. It had a dead squirrel in the courtyard. As soon as I smelled that smell, I had to spit. And that's because literally the smell of putrefaction was coming into my body, and it made me salivate in a way that I knew I could not swallow that saliva. You might feel similar feelings when you meet or see or speak to something that is disgusting. And don't be so focused on being socially appropriate that you swallow disgusting saliva, really, because it's not worth it. And it is one of the ways that in this time and place, slaves are kept under control. P.S. That person, when I spat in their courtyard, totally misinterpreted what I did and thought that I was spitting on their project as opposed to spitting out the disgusting leavings of a putrefying squirrel corpse. In my teeth. If these are like the shape of one's teeth, all right, I know this is like very not sophisticated drawings here. When I brush my teeth, swish water, or do any kind of oil pulling, and I don't know if you're familiar with oil pulling, but this is swishing around either coconut oil or, some kind of organic oil to pull out toxins from your teeth and gums. I always make vortexes coming out of the gums. So this motion into and out of the gums, I always make vortexes. So there's a vortex like this, going in. Here's a vortex of energy going into my little gum. And then, of course, when it goes out the other way, when I swish out the other way, it goes out the other way. Create vortexes while you are swishing around your teeth. Okay, there's more. I know that I've spoken to you about sun gazing. I practice my sun gazing very regularly, pretty much any day when there's sun available in the climate where I live. But another thing that I do is breathing in energy from trees and plants. So I often do this when light is coming through trees in a very, sun-dappled way, and I will align myself with some of those rays of light and actually inhale with my third eye while I am aligning with them. So I'm literally breathing them in. This feels like I am inhaling or breathing in little rainbow sparkling tendrils. It can be from a tree, it can be from a plant, it can be from flowers. When I do this and I'm breathing in from the sun, I feel like I'm breathing in sunlight. However, I have also breathed in colors, like from, there was a potting, a garden with flowers in it, and I was having a very bad headache. And what I did was I breathed in the bright, bright magenta color from the flowers, and it went into my brain in order to heal my brain. So you can use your third eye to breathe in whatever healing substance you need. And plants absolutely are always emanating this beautiful healing substance. Okay, I know I'm going to have to go through this really fast in order to get this all in the rest of this recording, but I have a cat, and cats are also excellent in terms of maintaining energetic hygiene. Cats give good energy to the space that they occupy. Same thing with dogs. Same thing with plants. In my studio, I have houseplants that are on the windowsill because they also create good energy in my energy bubble. So I've just drawn some houseplants up here so you can see that they're in my studio. Okay, I hope that all of this is coming across as understanding that this is your personal bubble. And when there are other waves, like from electromagnetic fields, as long as you have a good momentum of energy in your personal bubble, you will not be as heartily impacted by electromagnetic fields or other people's anger or even things like radiation that is being emanated from Fukushima. So these are just some of the basic practices that I do in order to keep my energy of my bubble clear. And definitely in your bedroom at night, do not put your cell phone or other things that emanate waves, because that prevents you from being able to more easily cultivate your own energy at night.